very good evening and a very warm welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I am Savindri Javardhan. Let's look at the top stories for the day. The first budget by the new government will be tabled in Parliament in November, State Minister announces. Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka announces the holding of biggest business summit at the BMICH. News in detail. The government today announced that the budget for the year 2021 will be presented in Parliament in November. State Minister of Money and Capital Markets and State Enterprise Reforms Ajit Niwad Cabral made this announcement at a media briefing held in Colombo today. State Minister Ajit Niwad Cabral said that the budget for 2021 will be tabled in Parliament on the 17th of November this year. He also added that the government had already commenced the drafting of a new budget for next year, considering the policy framework introduced by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's vision for Sri Lanka, which is the vision of prosperity. Meanwhile, an official from the Treasury said that Sri Lanka is expecting the budget deficit in 2020 to reach 9% of gross domestic product, and tax revenues are recovering with economic activities resuming with coronavirus control. In April, amid a coronavirus lockdown, monthly revenues had fallen to 70 billion rupees. In 2019, average revenues were about 150 billion rupees. The Treasury official was positive with the move and added that in August, tax revenues were 144 billion rupees, and that means economic activities are happening. Treasury officials who joined the media briefing says that Sri Lanka has controlled the spread of coronavirus, and except the tourist inflows, most activities had bounced back. Preliminary data indicated that exports were again about a $1 billion in September. In 2019, Sri Lanka had collected 1.73 trillion in taxes and was expecting 1,450 billion in 2020 with a deficit of 8.5% according to revised projections in June 2020. The 41st National Conference, which is dubbed Sri Lanka's biggest business summit, will be held from 2nd to 4th December this year at the BMICH Colombo under the theme Abnormal Navigating Through Shattered Norms. Thus, this was announced to media at a press briefing held in CA premises in Colombo yesterday. The 41st National Conference aims to play an important catalyst role in helping inspire chartered accountants, including business leaders and C-suite executives, to navigate through these extraordinary and challenging times of uncertainty. This year's conference will take on a hybrid format with a combination of traditional physical sessions as well as virtual sessions due to the prevailing COVID-19 global pandemic and due to the limited number of participants permitted this year at the venue. Addressing the press conference organized to unveil the theme of this year's conference, President of CA Sri Lanka Manil Jayasinghe highlighted that these abnormal times are a reminder to us to understand the importance of thinking outside the box and moving away from our comfort zones. The conference will be complemented with a high-profile lineup of local and foreign speakers and panelists who will steer the technical sessions by sharing their insights and expertise on how to rethink and rebuild businesses in times where abnormal has become the order of the day, giving the opportunity to build better businesses.
We will be holding our event from 2nd to 4th of December at BMICH. On 2nd December evening, we are expecting to have our conference inauguration, and on the 3rd, we will be having full day technical sessions and BMICH. This year, we have made a small change to the format of the conference by introducing a half-day virtual session on the 4th of December. Given the circumstance, most of the foreign speakers will be speaking to you this year through this virtual conference. That's the main reason that we want to have a half-day virtual conference, otherwise we won't be able to get the foreign speakers engaged with our conference. We all have been on a learning curve over the last several months, and it would even continue for a further period of time. Still, we don't know when we are going to get fully recovered from the pandemic. And I need not say, this new knowledge that we captured amidst disruption has opened our minds to a new paradigm.
In the meantime, President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka, Manal Jasinga, stresses that now it is the high time to think beyond the COVID-19 pandemic and make use of the opportunities posed by the COVID-19.
While Sri Lanka has been safe in terms of the number of COVID casualties, the economic crisis has, however, spiraled beyond our control, largely due to the global shutdown, which has also severely affected tourism and even exports. So we are not necessarily insulated. Actually, it is tourism, exports, and there are a couple of others also that probably might get impacted. One is probably the worker remittances, which is also likely to have an impact. And the issue is when you impact tourism, it has a lot more implications on various sectors. The whole hotel industry is wondering when they are going to start. They had a problem last year. Before that problem, they recovered from that problem. Another problem comes up. Now the question is, when are they going to recover? And still there is no clear indication by the government as to when our airports are going to be open, which I believe will take some time. But then the question is, how do you navigate through these troubled waters? But I believe that there are opportunities as well. There are opportunities such as, the whole world is questioning about China being the biggest producer. So they want alternates. Not that they want to move out of China, but they want alternates. The Japanese government took steps to say that they will fund any business who wants to move their production facilities out of China. So these are opportunities.
Stay tuned for more news right after this. Welcome back after the break. The Colombo Stock Exchange has demonstrated noteworthy performance, recording consistent gains in both the All-Share Price Index and S&P Index since reopening on 11th May 2020. The CSE has also noted a significant increase of over 63% in Central Depository System account openings since the digitalization of the end-to-end operations of the market. The Colombo Stock Exchange has demonstrated noteworthy performance, recording consistent gains in the All-Share Price Index of 31% and S&P Index of 27% since reopening on 11th May 2020. Brokers say that Sri Lanka is one of the markets that has recovered the fastest from the impact of the coronavirus pandemic in comparison to countries in the Asia-Pacific region, recording positive price returns in US dollar terms. Securities and Exchange Commission in a statement says that the progress reflects the strong confidence which the investors have placed in the market and the future economic growth of the country. Significant contributions to turnover had been recorded in Colombo, Gampaha, Kandy, Kurunegala, Galle, Kalutara and Matra districts. The CSE has also noted a significant increase of over 63% in Central Depository System account openings since the digitalization of the end-to-end operations of the market on the 17th of September. Digitalization of the market has afforded investors the opportunity to access the market with ease and convenience and has contributed further to increase the depth of the market. State Minister of the Solar, Wind and Hydropower Generation Projects Development, Duminda Disanayake, says that the new government will engage in making policy frameworks to assure the moving into the use of the sustainable renewable energy instead of the costly and anti-environment modes. State Minister Disanayake made these statements addressing a gathering organized by the GIZ in Colombo yesterday.
So we are determined to make use of island's renewable energy resources by implementing policy framework to achieve our goal of power generation through sustainable renewable energy while sharing the benefits with all our citizens. Then we will have achieved our nation's energy security, energy independence and save foreign currency by not importing fossil fuel. We look forward to deeper cooperation and joint ventures with our German friends who will support us through this exciting journey for the benefit of our people and our two countries.
Now let's take a look at a few more stories for the day in brief. The ambassadors from 5 ASEAN countries have praised the government for successfully combating the COVID-19 threat in Sri Lanka during the meeting held with Speaker Mahindayapa Abeyewardene at Parliament yesterday. High Commissioner of Malaysia to Sri Lanka Tang Yang Thai, Ambassador of Vietnam Hang Tibik Nyok, Ambassador of Indonesia Gusti Nugara Adiaza, Ambassador of Thailand Chulamani Chatsuwan and Ambassador of Myanmar Hang Tu represented ASEAN at the meeting. An invitation to visit Kuala Lumpur to further strengthen the bilateral ties by the Ambassador of Malaysia was also extended to the parliamentarians from Sri Lanka. In order to mark the National Family Planning Day, which is celebrated annually on 26th of September, coinciding with the World Contraception Day, the Health Promotion Bureau held a press conference and media seminar under the topic of Happy Family with Optimal Birth Spacing last Friday with the participation of the United Nations Population Fund and the World Health Organization alongside various branches of the Ministry of Health and civil society organizations. According to the Demographic and Health Survey of 2016, 35% of married women in Sri Lanka do not use contraception. Teenage pregnancies are at a rate of 4.6% with subnational disparities of 5 to 8%. As a result, it is estimated that 650 unsafe abortions take place daily in Sri Lanka with no recent evidence of a decline, and 80% are estimated to be accessed by married women above the age of 30. Thus, the conversation spanned around important topics such as subfertility, the need to invest in rights-based family planning, improving comprehensive sexual education, and reducing unsafe abortions. A historic MOU was signed virtually by Chief Executive Officer of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce Manjula De Silva and Chief Executive Officer of the Afghanistan Chamber of Commerce and Investment Zayed Zamani Hashmi, witnessed by Ambassador for Afghanistan in Sri Lanka M. Ashraf Haidari. The Ceylon Chamber of Commerce, with a view to build a mutually beneficial relationship with the Afghan Chamber and to promote friendly and cordial relations between Sri Lanka and Afghanistan, signed this Memorandum of Understanding with Afghanistan Chamber of Commerce and Investment on Monday. Stay tuned for more news right after. Welcome back after the break. The trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all-share price index dropped 8.71 points to close at 5,984.84 and the S&P SL20 dropped 10.32 points to close at 2,465.79. The turnover was 2 billion rupees and over 142 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. And that's all news for today. See you tomorrow with State of Business at the usual time. Until then, take care and good night.